My reading is that the initiative came from the NSC. Here was what has always been among the worker bees. How did this happen? Well, the way we understood it was that there was a conversation between Madeleine Albright, our ambassador to the UN at the time, and Richard Clarke, head of peacekeeping at the White House, in which they decided that we were going to support the Belgians' request to withdraw UNAMIR because the Belgians didn't want to nationalize their peacekeepers and withdraw them. We did not want them to, because once again the specter of Somalia raises its head. We were trying to hand off what had been a heavy U.S. involvement in Somalia to the UN and an international peacekeeping force. So the last thing that would be in our interest would be to see countries nationalizing their forces and withdrawing them. That would have been Richard Clarke and Susan Rice, but Richard was her boss. I also noticed, and
I'm sorry. Okay, in a second, I'll use the high sign. Go ahead, Michael. Okay, so let's take another look at your notebook here. It says NSC requested IO to withdraw UNAMIR.
Right.
Who do you think would have delivered that request from the NSC?
That would have been Richard Clarke, either directly to IO or through Susan Rice, but the order would have come from Richard Clarke.
Yeah, keep it a second, because I want to ask you about something else on there. So how you would have received this news sitting in the Situation Room of the Rwanda Task Force?
Correct.
Delivering you this news?
Correct.
And what was your reaction when you heard the news?
I took one look into the eyes of Kevin Aston, who was our desk officer, who was closest in Washington, closest to the situation, because he was drafting all of the cables and all of the news from Kigali was coming through him. And I remember telling him and others about this and looking in Kevin's eyes and knowing that we had just, literally signed the death warrant of people. It was that. I was being very bureaucratic. Yes, right, the NSC wants this, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly the awareness of what the consequence and impact of it hit me when I was talking with Kevin and saw his face.
And he sort of expressed that? He said that this would lead to...
He said, he may have said, do you know what this means, or something like that. Because we had a brief, almost in code. We didn't, again, things are moving very quickly, so you are almost, in fact, I know this, you take action so quickly, and it requires a step back to say, wait a minute, what did I just do? And what are the consequences of it? So I was busy doing my job, and then, oh my God, there.
So before that notation, it actually says UN cable. And what do you think that UN cable is? I
think that this goes to what I said was the lore that was created among us worker bees. That the cable was the one that Madeleine Albright sent from the UN, sent from US UN, putting on the table the concept that the Belgian and the French military evacuating their citizens could also evacuate UNAMIR. That was what put the issue on front and center. Madeleine Albright often communicated directly with the White House. So I would not be at all surprised if telephone calls had not also been going on, because you usually don't send in, very seldom does anyone in government put anything in writing that has not already been communicated verbally. especially something as traumatic as this.